Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Rebecca Lynn Norrington, and you do not get any more real than coming to and listening to and contributing to Reality Spirituality. Reality Spirituality, this show is about real life people, about what happens every single day. The smallest incidences, the smallest events to the biggest challenges that we have. This show, Reality Spirituality, is teaching, talking about, sharing how to experience more happiness in your life in every moment. And how do you do that? You know, we talk about it. People know the principles. Yes, trust, surrender, let go, all of that. But how do you do it when you're faced with the challenge? That is the key. See, concepts are nice, but the practice is what is going to get you to a place where I'm promising you will be able to, listen, life is going to throw at you whatever it does. I can't stop it. I can't change it. Trust me, I've tried all of my life. So life is going to give you exactly what you are meant to experience, what you are meant to handle. And quite frankly, it's up to you to either, listen, picture a roller coaster. I don't know. I used to go on roller coasters. I don't do that anymore. I don't know why I put myself through riding on roller coasters when I didn't like them. I was afraid of heights, but I went on a roller coaster anyway when I was younger. Now, I remember trying it a few years ago. Oh, my God, my neck was killing me. But I digress. Life is just like riding a roller coaster. Sometimes it's going to feel great. Sometimes you're going to go straight and it's going to feel calm and easy. And sometimes you're going to climb up that hill and swoop all the way down, and your stomach is going to go all the way up to your throat. And it's just going to be a time of stress and anxiety and panic, sometimes worry and fear and all of that. But it doesn't have to, you don't have to feel that anxiety. You don't have to feel that anxious during those times. See, what's going to happen is going to happen. But whether or not what you feel and how you're going to experience this life's event, how are you going to react? What is your perception of what is happening is the key. And how you are going to react and your perception are all choices. One of my biggest, and listen, being a self-proclaimed happiness specialist is a lot of pressure. Trust me, I put it on myself because for me it's the most important topic. If I'm not at peace with my life, and when I say my life, I'm talking about my moment and looking in the mirror. If I'm not looking in the mirror and I'm not at peace, then that's on me. It's not on anything else. It's on me. And one of my I like to use the word challenge. One of my challenges is not resisting what the universe throws at me, meaning not resisting whatever it is. And when I say whatever it is, I mean whatever it is. What does not resisting mean? What does that to not resist? Well, let me back up just a bit. You know that you're energy. I'm energy. We're all energy, and it's just like a radio show. All energy, there's a frequency, and energy shifts and energy changes, and so your frequency as a person changes also depending on your mood, depending on whether you're pissed, depending on whether you are flowing, depending on whether you're annoyed, depending on whether you're worried, you're looking at the future. All of that has a frequency. It can be measured. And so in every moment, you are either emitting an energy of satisfaction or dissatisfaction. It's very simple. Are you satisfied in this moment, or are you not satisfied? And this moment means this moment, and if you're speaking about future moments, or if you're not speaking or feeling or thinking about or reminiscing over past moments, or you're thinking about future moments, every moment that you're in, wherever you are in, even if it's not the present moment, every moment that you are in is going to have attached to it a vibration of either being satisfied with what happened, either in the past, or satisfied with what you're thinking is going to happen in the future, which is even crazier anyway, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I digress. So you're either emitting an energy of satisfaction or you're emitting an energy of dissatisfaction. It's very simple. Now, just because when I say an energy of satisfaction, I get a lot of questions. Well, I'm not satisfied because I want to do more. I want to experience more. I want to help more. I want to serve more. I want more. See, that energy of wanting more, that thought of this isn't enough, I want more, guess what, my dear audience? That's an energy of dissatisfaction. Just by it alone, I want more. Now, does that mean just because you are satisfied, does that mean that you don't do anything else? Like, I'm in this moment and I'm satisfied and that's it forever? What that means is, in every moment that you experience, in every moment where you find yourself, your shoulders are down, you're relaxed, and you are okay. You are all right. You embrace, you welcome, you adjust, and you do not resist the moment. Looking at or thinking that anything is wrong, or thinking that this shouldn't be happening, or thinking that this is unjust, or this isn't fair, or this isn't the way I want it to be, or this other person. However you're thinking, unless you accept it all, I'm telling you, it's part of the foundation for happiness, not resisting what is. Let me give you a really fun story. I think it's a fun story. It just happened yesterday. You know me, reality spirituality stories. And I was asked to sub. If you've listened to the show, you know I've taught exercise classes for, 35, 30. It's probably close to 38 years now. Who keeps track? Did I say that out loud, that large number? Anyway, so I was asked to sub aqua aerobics, water aerobics class yesterday. It was a club that I've subbed before, but of course when you're subbing, you run into people that you don't know. They don't know you, you don't know them, and so it's a brand new experience, if you will. I'm meeting them and they're meeting me. Emphasis on they're meeting me. Poor people. And I'm laughing because, listen, all right, Miley Cyrus, I come in like a wrecking ball when I'm teaching. I mean, I'm this energy of, come on, let's go harder, let's go faster. I mean, I'm on it, and I'm on my students, and that's how I teach, and I love it. I push everybody to their max. I mean, if you're in my class, you've had a lot of fun, and you're exhausted. And some people say, gee, I feel like I'm dying. So that's and listen, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I totally get it. Back up to the story. So I go into the pool area, and there's probably about 40 people that I've never seen before. So I announce myself. Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning. And usually when you're teaching, I don't know if there's any. Well, who cares? You're going to get it. When you're teaching adults, it's totally different than teaching children, because especially if you're a happiness specialist like myself, especially when I know the fundamentals. And one of the fundamentals to being happy and having more happiness or experiencing more happiness is not paying attention to what anybody else is doing. You cannot focus on what anybody else is doing. I mean, I know it's difficult because it is rampant. It is a rampant practice to look at what your neighbor's doing, to look at what your relatives are doing, to look at what your spouse is doing, to look at what your children are doing, and for you to make comments about it, right? How many people do that? You make comments about what other people are doing. That's what I thought. I used to do it all the time. It used to be one of my favorite things to do. Notice and criticize and judge and label what everybody else is doing. Well, I'm here to tell you don't have to do that anymore. In fact, you can let that go. And in fact, when you do engage in that type of practice, you are actually subtracting from your happiness. Trust me. Back to the story about the pool. So what happens in classes is that it's just so common that students look at other students, and what they like to do is tell me is like if a student didn't go all the way to the end and tap the end of the pool and then come back, you have to do relays, go back and forth. And if they didn't tap, and they only went halfway, you can bet that another student is going to rat on them. And so that's what happened. And you do what I always do, and I said, listen, stay out of everybody else's business. I'll be in their business for the next hour, but you don't have anything to do with them. You can let that go, and you can concentrate on your own exercising. How's that? But inevitably in classes, especially adult classes, there are people that talk. Yes, I know. Talkers. And so especially when you're in, well, this is any class, but especially when you start teaching older people, a different generation, a different generation. People like to talk. People like to socialize. That's what they like to do. Especially in a large group, they usually find somebody to pair up with and talk to the whole class. And so as a instructor, I've had to let go of trying to tell these people to stop talking. I used to see when I said stop talking, I was really resisting what was happening. I was resisting what was. And then you might say, well, that's your job. You're the instructor. You have to keep everything, in order. Those are the rules. I mean, you should at least have some kind of structure. And the answer to that is no. When every time, I don't care if I'm teaching and this is for you also, my dear audience, every time you try to tell somebody else what to do, even if it's the smallest, it is subtracting from, unless they don't see that big ditch that they're going to fall into within 3 feet while they're walking and they're looking up and you say, hey, there's a ditch. I mean, unless that is the issue, stay out of everybody else's business. Now, so even when people are talking, but for some reason, I love that, for some reason. It's always a reason. The universe always has a reason. There was a gentleman in the class, and he just kept talking to this one woman who I could see wanted to exercise because she was jumping up and down, moving, and then he just kept talking to her. And so I said, yes, I did. I said, sir, your lips are moving faster than your legs. I said, you got to keep, you can talk. Keep your legs moving. That's my way of saying, shut up and start exercising. But that's the way a happiness specialist says it. But I was thinking the other one. No, actually it wasn't. But I have thought the other one before. Anyway, I digress. So immediately when I said that, even though the way I said it was said with humor and with lightness and really, honestly, not a lot of seriousness, because I know when you try to get somebody to do something, you're setting yourself up. Because how are they going to react? Because once you tell somebody what to do, how are they going to respond? So how they respond is really what I created, and in other words, what I started. And if I didn't say anything in the first place, do you see what I mean? There would be no issue. So now the guy has a little bit of a maybe let's just say for spiritual purposes a spiritual chip, maybe just a little chip. And throughout the class, maybe about 10 minutes into it, we were doing toning, and we were on the side of the pool. And I had them put the weights underneath their knees, underneath their thighs, the quads, and lift their legs up and down and up and down. We were just toning the quads. And he was the gentleman that I asked that actually said something about talking. He was facing. He wasn't facing the way that I had all the students facing. I said, sir, can you turn around and just use your outside leg? And he says, no, I'm not going to turn around. He says, I'm not going to exercise this leg. And he lifts his leg up and he shows me a big scar on his knee. And he says, I just had knee replacement. Well, knee replacement, I guess it was maybe 10 months ago. And I said, okay, that's fine. I said, that's not even the leg I wanted you to use. And he says, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do what I want to do with that kind of energy. So you could tell that he wasn't really happy with my instructions or really wanting to do anything that I was suggesting. I said, okay. And then I did what a messy happiness specialist does, somebody that you listen, us people that are happy, we can do the stick the happy knife in the back too. So I said, oh, okay, thank you, Mr. Happy. So I called him Mr. Happy. Well, now that's me asking for it, right? When you so I'm doing all of this consciously, and I'm realizing exactly what's going on and what I'm doing. It's not the guy's fault; it's what I'm doing. And so what happened was he actually got to a point. I don't know if it was after I said Mr. Happy or not. Maybe that was the last straw. And he just picked up his weights and he started walking toward the stairs to get out of the pool. And I said, I didn't say anything because I could feel it. You know, if I had $1 for every time somebody would come in my class and not really be compatible with the energy in the class, I told you it's more like a boot camp instructor type. And if you're not into that kind of energy, I mean, there's a lot of people that just come in, get a whiff, and walk out very quickly. I mean, over 38 years, you can imagine all the time. It just happens a lot. And so what I've had to learn is not to resist what's happening, not to think, why are they doing it? I have no idea. And what I do know is that whoever is angry, quote unquote angry, and they're pointing the finger at me, or whoever has an issue and they're pointing the finger, and this goes for me too, whoever is pointing the finger at somebody else or something else and saying, this is the reason why I'm feeling this way, it's because, and they're pointing the finger out, and this is the reason why I'm feeling this way. It's either this instructor, it's either the traffic, it's either the weather, it's either the world affairs. Whatever reason why I'm feeling this is because of that. And I'm here to tell you that that's never the truth. The reason why you're feeling the reason why you're feeling the way you're feeling is because that's where you are in this moment. I don't know what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, what you're struggling with, but it is that moment. It is whatever is in that moment. And, you know, let me say this. I have people in the queue. If you want to speak with me live, you can just press the number 1. The call-in number is area code 646-564-9619. Again, 646-564-9619. I have a few people in the queue, but as what usually happens, people don't really want to say hello. But you can ask me a question live. Just press number 1, and I will open up your mic, and you can talk to me. Jesus, I don't know why I was stuttering. So back to resistance. What the practice is, say you get a bill in the mail, unexpected bill. That's happened a few times. And the bill is $500, $1,000. I actually got one in the mail a few weeks ago, $1,800, just out of the blue. It was stemming from that month and a half when I was in the ER. I don't know if I shared that on the show, but yeah, I went in the ER because I was having really bad stomach cramps. But that's another story. And so $10,000 later from the ER bill, and then the copay is $1,800. Looking at that bill that was not expecting, remember, no expectations, was not expecting, and seeing it, and my reaction, and honestly my reaction is, it's like looking at a bill for $8. It's not the amount. It's what you practice in every moment. Now, I'm not saying that I have everything down to a science, and I have everything down to a perfect acceptance of all of it. But the practice is becoming more and more, it is stronger because of things that are happening to me. See, what happens to me, like I said, ER, stomach cramps, still dealing with some stomach issues, dealing with some, if you listen to the show, you know that in February I got hit by a car, dealing with some other issues, just physical issues, some physical issues happening. And so what it is I don't want to have to wear orthotics. I don't want to have to go through physical therapy. I don't want to have to think that, maybe this isn't, I'm going to have to live with this kind of condition. I don't want any of that. And that's exactly how I responded to everything that has been happening for the last few months. It's responding with, Oh, God, now what, universe? Another something else? Another challenge? Okay, when am I going to be able to, when am I going to be able to have a little bit of breather and not be so challenged? And the universe is, well, you said you wanted it. In fact, this week I got to a point and I said, I'm just so tired of all of these challenges. And they said, well, stop resisting. Stop resisting what's happening. Stop saying that you would rather something else. You have a preference. You would have a preference as to what you experience. Anytime you have a preference to what you want to experience, trust me, you are driving into a brick wall at 150 miles an hour. You're driving towards a brick wall at 150 miles an hour. That's what you're doing when you have preferences. I prefer this. I prefer that. And then when you prefer, that means you're resisting what is. All preferences subtract from your happiness. I don't care what. Now, the resisting, not resisting what is, the only way that you can get to that point where you really practice not resisting everything is when you have given up fighting, you're ready to commit to a higher elevation of living, a higher elevation, and a higher awareness, and a higher consciousness of living. That's when you can get to that point of letting go and trusting. Before you get to the place of being able to not resist anything, and I'm talking about health, money, all of it, work, relationships, all of it. You get to that point when you finally give up and trust and hand over the steering wheel, or allow the universe to drive, if you will. And you are just a person, you're just the person in the back seat. You are enjoying the ride. You are looking out the window, and everything that you pass and everything that you see, you're in awe and you're okay with all of it. That place can only be, you can only live from that place when you really trust the universe and give up thinking. Now, this is the key. And I get in a lot of I don't get in disagreements because I agree. In my real life, I agree with whatever anybody says. I mean, if you see me in my real life, you're not going to get a disagreement from me. You're just not. I might be thinking something different, but it's just not going to happen. But, I just lost my train of thought. Where was I? Disagreements. Oh, my goodness, I really lost my train of thought. Where was I? Oh, okay. Getting to the point. Okay, getting to the point of really. Okay, I remember now. Controlling. I finally had to let go and really understand. Now, everybody might not agree. Hey, RS, what's up? That, and this is a tough one. I say it because I'm going to get a lot of resistance. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Do I have control over what's happening? I mean, do I really have a say? If I really have a say, guess what? It wouldn't be looking like the way it's looking. And let me go to a very famous figure, because I don't know about you, but I just thought about this a few days ago, and, well, the universe inspired me to think about it. And there was a very famous figure, and he was just a man, and his destiny was to teach civilians. I like to call people just civilians. I just like to call them civilians. Teach us civilians how to sit, how to navigate through this life. And this man, at the end of his life, very famous, was tortured, was humiliated, was mocked, was shamed, was brutally beaten, eventually crucified, stabbed while on the cross, and of course said the line that, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. That story is a lesson in forgiveness. Are you able to forgive and accept what other people say and or do? So, getting back to the destiny, that man's destiny, I mean, would you agree that his destiny was to come here, right, be born, experience, teach all of the lessons, the lessons, the lesson about don't judge, don't throw stones, and don't judge her because, you better, what is it? Don't judge somebody unless you judge yourself. I don't know the whole thing, but a lot of lessons. The bottom line is, wasn't his destiny and his purpose that all of that torture and all of that pain and all of that ridicule and all of that quote unquote, and I'm quoting here with air quotes, suffering, wasn't that his destiny? We're all living out our destiny, whatever that is. I gave up trying to guide it, control it, steer it, move it, change it. I've given up. My job right now is to, how do I respond? How do I ride out my destiny? How do I express appreciation, gratitude for my destiny the way it is unfolding? Not the way that I would prefer. Trust me, people. Trust me, audience. If I was writing this book, if I was writing this detail, if I was writing this outline, if I was drawing this life, it would look differently. That tells me that I don't have control over what's happening. What I do have control is accepting what is happening without resistance and appreciating and knowing and trusting that it was what is happening without resistance. The divine plan is even bigger and better than I could have even imagined. I mean, this person that I talked about earlier, I'm sorry, but I'm talking about him 2,000 years later on a radio show. The legacy is there for the whole world to see and will be here forever. Well, who knows how long, but That's his legacy. That's a divine plan. Do you think that he had any choice? I mean, he actually tried to have a choice. He actually said, you know what, I don't want to do this. Excuse me, Father, excuse me, God. Let me just sit down here in the park right now, a.k.a. Garden of the Gethsemane. You know what, I don't want to do this. Excuse me, but no thank you. I don't want any. That was his resistance. That was Jesus' resistance. No, I don't want to die. I mean, that's resistance. And then finally, just like what he was teaching, and it's all about the lesson. This is not about religion. It's about the lessons. And what was he teaching? Don't resist whatever it looks like. I'm being crucified and tortured, and I have to wear a crown of thorns and, mocked and beaten, and what? Am I supposed to resist? What? Now, I'm sorry, but Jesus got the short end of the stick. I mean, that was an example to the extreme of not resisting. Now, in the beginning, I would do the same thing. No, listen, I do it all the time. No, thank you, universe. No, I don't want to have to go see a gastrointestinal specialist. No, I don't want to have to do that. No, universe, I don't want another bill for $1,800. No, universe, I don't want, and the list goes on. No, I don't want to have to wear orthotic shoes the rest of my life. No, I don't want to have to wear orthotic. And the list goes on, people. The more I live, the more I breathe, the more I'm letting go. And let me tell you, I don't know. Oof. Excuse me, audience. Let me tell you. Oof. Excuse me. I just told the universe just this week because, having medical or any kind of physical health issues, it is a real challenge. It is a real place where it tests your trust. It really tests your trust because I have no idea until all the test results come in what the hell is going on. Who knows? And of course, the thoughts go from, just a little gassy to cancer, right? All of these thoughts, stomach cancer, what could it be? All of these thoughts. And then finally, and this is going to sound really crazy, it was just this week, really crazy, but the truth. I don't care. I told the universe, I don't care what you bring me. I don't care what it looks like. If it looks like gas, if it looks like ulcers, if it looks like stomach cancer, I don't care what you bring me. I'm not going to resist. I'm okay with whatever it is. Because I trust that whatever it is going to take me to another level of consciousness, another level of understanding, another level of not resisting, another level of acceptance, and another level of being happy, regardless of what happens. This life is not about being happy when things happen that you want to happen, and when things happen that you don't want. No, this life is about feeling good and at peace and satisfied with all of it. All of it. And it was only this week that I even accepted that I accepted whatever the universe brings. And I honestly, my dear audience, I don't care. I don't care anymore. That's one thing I have to say. I don't care what they give to me. I don't care what they show me. I don't care what they force me to experience. I really don't care. I'm good. I'm ready for all of it. I've been practicing. I'm ready for all of it. I'm ready for any of it. Bring it on, universe. Honestly. You could feel it. One of my students asked me, it's so hard. How? It starts with commitment and it starts with a practice. And I have to tell you that I couldn't have said, okay, I accept whatever you bring me, even if it's going to be, listen, and I'm throwing the word out like crazy, which is a weird word for me to use about me, throwing this word out, cancer, and I'm not saying I have it, I'm not saying I don't have it, but I'm saying that all of the thoughts, who knows, but being able to accept, yes, okay, whatever, universe, okay, whatever. I couldn't have done that a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago. I barely got through it this week. But that's what I'm talking about, the level of not resisting. Even a biggest, quote, fear or biggest preference. Would I prefer? And I'll keep everybody posted, of course. But would I prefer? Of course. Not anymore. No preferences. Living life without preferences. You know, you're so powerful, my dear audience. You are really the most powerful. And I'll share a really quick story. Last week I drove in. I usually take the bus into downtown LA, but last week I drove in because I had an appointment, so I needed my car. And I was only parking for an hour and a half on the side street. And as I parked, and it was early, it was probably about 7:30 in the morning, and as I was parking, there was a Metro guy, the guy that puts the street signs on, you know, like temporary street closer, temporary can't park here, those signs. So as I parked, a gentleman pulled up with the city truck, and he wrapped one of those temporary you can't park here signs around the meter that I was just going to put money into. And as I was getting out of the car, because, you know, I'm thinking, can I park here? And as I was getting out of the car and he put the sign around, and I looked at him and I said, I can't park here. And he looked at me and he said, did you read the sign, lady? Just like that, with that energy. Did you read the sign, lady? I don't even think he called me a lady. Well, which is fine, because sometimes I'm not. Get it? Next, I digress. And I said, no, and I'm looking at the sign. He said, well, if you had read the sign, you would have known that you can't park here, and that's for 24 hours. I have to post the signs at least 24 hours in advance. Read the sign. Well, lucky for him, and more importantly, it was early and I was full of full of being connected. You know, there are days when nobody can say or move me with anything, and you know, there are days when I'm running on empty, and sometimes yes. So I was full, and I said, I'm so sorry, I wasn't paying attention. It's my fault. I should have read the sign. You're right. I mean, a total just back, bow down, cow down, so sorry, bend down. You know, when you approach people with that totally submissive energy and I mean submissive, and trust me and submissive would not have even shook hands years ago. Submissive, but I have to tell you, between power versus force, being submissive is all powerful. In that situation, it was all powerful. This guy could feel how I responded in my, okay, I'm sorry, sir, about, yes, you're right, no, And immediately he started explaining to me the rules of parking signs in downtown LA. He actually stopped, came back towards me and said, well, you know what? This is what you look for when you're parking downtown. Now, I'm born and raised in LA. I've been going downtown LA for 50 plus years, maybe 40 plus. 50 plus years, ever since I was 1. And I listened to all of his explanation. And he wanted to explain because now he's wanting to, help me out and explain the parking rules. And I said, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for taking the time out. And that whole encounter could have gone any way. But you, my dear audience, you are the one that chooses how your encounters are going to unfold. It's not up to the other person. It's up to you. How are your encounters with people, especially, listen, who cares about the nice people and the people that you get along with and the people that you love and the people that you're so compatible with? I'm talking about the incompatible energy. How do you deal with, how do you navigate through that? How do you stand in that place? How do you shine so bright that the negativity and all the darkness leaves? See, if you go into a dark room and you turn on a light, the darkness leaves. So it's up to you, and I've said it 100 times, maybe even more, but it's up to you to be that light. You are that light. And there's only a small percentage of the population that are stars, that are bright enough and that show the light. They can show. Now, everybody has the ability to, but it might not be their time. See, everybody is going to get to their higher place and evolve eventually, but sometimes it's just not their time. Maybe their time is 1,000 years from now. Maybe their time is next week. But the people that know, the people that are getting this, the people that are with me right now, if you're listening, you know that you are that percentage. You are the light. You are what is going to change this world by you being that light and not resisting what is and creating. When you don't resist, you're throwing that energy of acceptance into the world. When you do resist, you're actually adding to the resistance of the world. You're adding to it. You have a big responsibility, my dear audience, and it's only you guys, because I don't know about these other people, but my reality spirituality audience, I know. It's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to all of us to be the light. To be the light, to practice being the light. Woo-wee. Let's see. Energy of satisfaction. Now, I think I talked about everything that I wanted to, and I can't even believe it's already almost a whole hour. This week I'm going to be live on the Mance and Mitchell show on Friday. I'm going to post some links for you. It's going to be on the station in Seattle, Washington. I love going on that show. And we're going to be talking about, so interesting, we're going to be talking about politics and the election and how everybody is up in an uproar and how to be happy, how to remain happy, how to even be at peace in the middle of this storm that we call the political election, the President of the United States, the presidential election. Is it possible to be at peace right now with this going on? And how do you stay? Are you emotionally attached? Well, I'll tell you right now, if you're emotionally attached, you're going up and down and up and down and up and down, right? Well, that's going to be this Friday, so I'll share with you that link. If you go to my Reality Spirituality, the Facebook page, you can go to that Facebook page, and I'm going to post the link on Friday. Also, let's see, Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington. You can email me at info@RebeccaNorrington.com. My website is Rebecca Norrington, that's RebeccaNorrington.com. And also, let's see, my first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, is still on Amazon. It is going to be a collector's item. It is the first draft. It is the first edition. And trust me, people, that is going to be a collector's item. And if you have my autograph in it, that book is going to be at least $19.95. No, worth $19.95. No, that's really funny. What I want to say is thank you for listening to the show. And I want you to remember who you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. You are a physical extension of the most powerful, of the greatest energy ever. You are always evolving. You're always changing. You're always growing. Be patient and be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. I'll talk to you next week. Have a great week. Reality, spirituality.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we getting real.